were always against definition from the ever first installations that we made in our life. After latent images, we thought a lot about what representation we wanted to make now. You have always to think about the images you are producing and the images you are showing. And so we did several projects after. One of them is called the Lebanese Rocket Society. From 1960 to 1967 in Lebanon, there was a very serious space project that began in a small Armenian university with a professor of mathematics called Manoug Manoukian and his students. And they launched rockets for space exploration. And then they had to stop in 1967 and the project disappeared.
Nobody was remembering it at all, so it was really like
a withdrawal of our memory.
Even people were imagining that it's impossible. How can we have a scientific project at that time? So for us it was a real question, and it led us to several elements of this project, a long feature documentary that had theatrical release in several countries, but also different artist work, being from the album of the president to a carpet that is linked to the history of the US, because it's also about the gratitude that these Armenians had to philanthropies that had them in the beginning of the 20th century. So it has several elements that intervene in the project of the film, and they are all linked by how we can reactivate this story of the past in the present in this difficult time.
The writing of history didn't really keep this story of rockets. So it is a very positive story because the project was not a military one, it was a scientific one. Asking this question led us to really reconsider what is the place of dreaming and projection in our societies, and what is this aspirations that we could have. It's a project that led us to re-question images, because of course when you think about a rocket today in Lebanon, you think about missile.
We used again a performative aspect in this project where we decided to rebuild one of the rockets, the Cedar 4, that was on a stamp, and to put it on a truck, but in a very obvious way, to bring it back from the factory where it was launched in the 60s and to offer it to the university where it started. And to make something like this is really, you have to deal with a lot of difficulties because you can have a misunderstanding of what it is. And we are saying that this is a sculpture as a tribute to those dreamers, and it's not a missile.
Then we worked on scams and internet spams. For several years we were collecting a very specific spam that is called a scam. We began collecting those scams in 1999 without really knowing what we will do with them. And scams are those emails that you received and then you usually delete in your trash automatically, where people take the identity of others. They are the son of Gaddafi or the wife of an African dictator, and they have in their possession like a lot of money, 30 million, 70 million, and you're the only one that can help them, and of course you will receive a percentage of this money. And many people answer to that, like there's 1,000 of people that answers. And
there's every year $1.2 billion that is transferred. So this narrative was a question to think about the condition of believing, why people believe in those small narratives, because they are efficient.
We collected and archived more than 4,000 of them, and little by little we read them. And for all those years, from 1999 to 2012, we thought about the fact that in a way it was a kind of alternative chronicle, alternative historiography. So that would take places where there are conflicts or economic crisis, ecological disaster, and they choose to locate their scam in places where corruption seems plausible for them and for you. So in a way they are mapping a kind of construction of imaginary of corruption.
If I tell you that I have $20 million in cash in Iraq or in Lebanon or in Syria today, you will think that it's more plausible than if I tell you that I have them in France or in Canada.
and taking those scans from the trash and do something else with them. So for example, giving them to actors to be sad or doing sculpture with them was another way to really question what is the relations that we have to all those small stories, what is the relations that we have with the belief, like why do we trust people that we never see, what is the relations that we have with internet, maybe a way to be connected to the other, you know, to have this possibilities to create a link.